How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Liberty Hour here, streaming through Spreaker Studio and the 16 Jackson AJ1 Twitter account. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. For those of you that go to Sacramento State, happy spring break, as this is the, unless you have Friday classes, which if you do, then I'm very sorry for you. But if you don't, happy spring break, and we've got about 10 days off, so something very much I've been looking forward to. I'm back here with my good friend Aleeyah Jade, and we were just starting to talk about her music a little bit and how she got into it. And I remembered what I was going to ask, so Ricky interrupted me with something he said.
Let's hear.
And so finally I remember what I was going to ask, because you mentioned tropical EDM. And by the way, I wanted to say this real quick. I know I apologize to Chowder. I understand he's making a diss track on me because of what I said on last week's show, but that's okay. You can go ahead and do that if you want, but I apologize. You're excused because you're going and seeing Excision on the day that Night Nation run is. So you're excused. But I was going to ask you, because Aleeyah, I know that you've already gotten your ticket for Night Nation run. What is it you're most looking forward to for the event?
Honestly, I wasn't into EDM until I met Ricky. And then actually it started because I wanted him to be impressed that I knew something about it. So that's kind of how it started. And then I really got obsessed with it. And now I'm actually producing. I just learned to produce as well. And I'm learning how to EQ. So I've been producing my own album as well on top of this other one. So that's cool. It's going to be more EDM. But I'm more excited just because it's my first EDM concert. Like, I don't know what to expect. And EDM makes me excited. So the fact that it's going to be like flashing lights and like loud and like a lot of people enjoying it at the same time makes me like really hyper. Like, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
I don't like rap. So
yeah. It's very unique because of multiple things, that's for sure. I will say that. Obviously the running side of it, which you don't have to run, but you have the DJs on the course, which is really cool. It's not a super long course, and it's all in one kind of area, which is cool. You have the after party, which is in the parking lot of Rayleigh Field. And I think it's a really unique concept, and I'm glad that it's coming back to Sacramento. It definitely is, I would say, more family friendly than a typical rave would be. I've heard stories from multiple of my friends of other raves, and even ones recently as well. Part of me is jealous that I didn't go to those. Part of me is not. But I'm looking forward to this one as well, because I think it should be quite a fun time, especially, knowing that I'm going to have a lot of friends going too, and we get to experience it together. So that'll be really cool. One thing I was going to ask you before I get into more of your music stuff is, what are some things you like to do as hobbies outside of music? What are some things you like to do for fun? I know you've posted like on your Instagram stories before and everything. You go into like with some of your friends to like amusement parks like Six Flags and stuff like that. But in terms of like things outside of that, just like here at home or around the area, what are things that you like to do for fun outside of music?
Okay, well, let the roast session begin because I'm such an old lady. I love puzzles. I do puzzles so much. For me, like going back to the mental health thing, like everyone has their own like type of thing that really helps them, like meditation and whatnot. Mine is puzzles. I love puzzles, and usually when I do a puzzle, I'll listen to like an inspirational speech that's like an hour long, and I'll just sit. And puzzles, I don't know. I love puzzles. I used to skateboard a lot and gymnastics. I used to be a video gamer, but I haven't in a while. Every once in a while I'll play, but I usually don't anymore. I'm learning to dance currently. I'm trying to learn to dance and the singing, obviously. But
Nice.
yeah, I don't know. I kind of like to do. I don't like to limit myself. I like to, try whatever.
That's
I feel
cool.
like, yeah.
Well, that's good, to experience everything that you can. Since you just mentioned skateboarding, I got a short story of when I tried to learn skateboarding. I got a quick story on that. So, I'm not a skateboarder. I'm not a snowboarder, skier, anything of that kind of stuff. I have tried it and I've failed. And this is one of the stories of a really short story of when I failed at skateboarding when I first tried. So I was at my friend Brian's house, who I haven't seen in quite some time. So if you're listening to this, Brian, hopefully we can hang out sometime soon. You're awesome. I'll have to come over to escape room too. So that's something we could do too that we haven't done yet. We could go to escape room and then maybe we could see Brian there. But anyways, so I'm at his place. I used to hang out at his house like all the time. And so we're in his garage and the door's down, so like the door isn't open because I don't know why. He's like, oh yeah, you could try to go down the driveway. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll probably fall on my ass. But so I'm on the skateboard and I was just like trying some things, like just trying to get on the skateboard in the garage. All of a sudden, I slip off the back of the skateboard, and the front of the skateboard
Oh,
goes
that's a
into the
common
garage
mistake.
door and dents it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was funny.
Rookie
I
mistake.
felt so bad. That wasn't the only thing. For some reason, I just had something against Brian's house. I don't know what it was, but so I dented his garage. I did just this is all coming back to me in the moment. I dented his garage door, and then we would always play basketball outside, like horse or 21 stuff like that. And there was one time where we were like, I don't know, we were throwing a football and we were trying to make the football in the in the hoop. I ended up throwing the football from the other side of the street to the backboard, and I broke the backboard.
Oh my goodness.
So
Did you make
just because you said skateboarding, it just jogged my memory to times where I just did some dumb shit.
No, it's okay. I've done that. I've fallen on treadmills more times than I can tell you.
Oh man, yeah. It just some things, you just some people just sometimes you just have a dumb moment. You do some stupid things, and it just happens. So,
Have you
um,
ever ran into a glass door?
I haven't. Okay, I would say the only time that I have done that is that when when you're in like at a carnival or something like that, and you're in like the maze and stuff like that, and you're trying to
Oh, it's
go
hilarious.
through like that. That's those things like creep me out, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I don't like that. I don't want to
But
see something.
yeah, I mean, in terms of what I do, like outside of everything, like with journalism and everything, obviously I love sports. I play video games with friends and stuff like that. I'll hang out with friends and go do stuff whenever I can. Even though I
You
don't go as much as I'd like, I love the beach, and which is why I'm so glad
prefer
that I'm.
swimming or staying on shore?
Um, I'm not much of a swimmer. Speaking of Brian, I've actually gone to his house to try to learn a little bit. I can swim, but I'm not the best at holding my breath underwater too. So that's another thing that sucks.
Oh,
But so I'm not like a long swimmer. Like I think I can only like freestyle. I'm not. I'm just not a swimmer. But so I'm more of an onshore guy. But I will say I love running on the beach. That's really something cool. If you're running on wet sand, which is something I plan on doing when I go to Dillon Beach this weekend, I'm looking super forward to it. Is listening to some peaceful Coldplay or some music out there on the beach, and that's just something I'm super looking forward to. Very very fun. Speaking of Coldplay, the reason I just thought about this is because you actually asked the question last week when me and Ricky were on the podcast. You asked us the question of if you had 3 songs to choose for like your lifestyle or like your soundtrack for your life, what would they be? Well, Leah, I'll turn the question back to you. What would they be for
no, I
you?
knew it. Okay, well, I was thinking about this because I had a feeling that this was gonna happen. Um, Honestly, there's a song by Slushy called "Close to Me," and that would probably be
I've
one of the
heard
biggest
that.
ones, just because that song. Every time I listen to it, it's every time I have listened to it, a good thing has happened, or I felt a good like type of way. So I feel like that song just brings out like the best in me. So I technically, I'd actually do that one. And then there would be Wolves by Marshmallow because that's the song that got me
Yeah.
noticed. That's really important. And the third one is escaping me. I don't know what I don't know. I really don't
See,
know.
I had a hard time with that too, and when I was going through it last week, I was thinking like a Chili Pepper song like Venice because I loved Venice Queen, I loved Road Trippin', and then I thought about it and I'm like, no, Don't Panic by Coldplay because if that's and I don't know if you get a chance to listen to that song, listen to it because it is literally I don't think you can find a better ocean song. It is like a perfect song for like if you're going to the beach or driving down Highway 1 on the ocean. I mean, it's perfect. But and so I was having a hard time thinking about it too. But I think it's a great question because I think most people music does play an impact somewhat on their lives, and I think so. I just wanted to say I enjoyed that question. I just wanted to turn it back to you for that reason. But so anyways, getting back into your music a bit. So tell me a little bit about your album. So once
Which
again,
one?
it's a well, oh yeah, which one? Not like the personal EDM one, but the one that is going to have
Okay.
like all of like your other like produced songs on there and stuff like that. I don't know if it's out yet or if it's coming out. Just tell me how that's been going, and then what if it's not out yet, what work there is still left to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we've been working on that for a year now. Crazy. What my song Heartbeat actually will be 1 year old on the 23rd, so that's interesting. It makes me feel really old, actually. But like, whoa, that's a long time ago. Anyway, but yeah, so we actually finished recording it all, and it's all made already. Like, I have a disc of it actually right over there. It's all made. It's ready to go. We just have to do like we're doing legal paperwork, like within like who gets this money and where we're gonna stream it and all that stuff, which isn't really like I'm not really like in charge of that as much.
Hmm.
But then there's that, and then we're also working on artwork for like the physical copies, like like most like CDs come with like booklets and whatnot.
Hmm.
So I had to do a photo shoot for that, and we're kind of trying to make that and trying to find people to do artwork and to like not laminate, I don't know the word, like just make them into that, all that cool stuff. So that's basically what we're working on, is just that. And then also like I have to write like special thanks letters, and we have to make a list of record labels to send them to, because it's an EP, which is it's like a resume for your music. Like when you go on a job, like this is what this is what I've done, this is my experience, like what I plan to do, and that's kind of what the EP is in the music world. It's like showing big record labels like this is what I'm about. If you like it, call me. That sounds really weird.
Gotcha.
But so that's just what that album is.
So,
But it's for experience, honestly. Like I've changed since I started making it for sure.
so when this does get released, like where would people be able to find it?
We're trying to get it on every streaming, like most of the streaming, like you could buy it like on iTunes, and if you have Android Music or Play Music, whatever. And then there's like Spotify. Um, I don't know if we get on Pandora. I feel like that's a stretch, but you just like like just streaming
Gotcha.
websites, I guess you could say. Yeah,
Um,
and it'll be on YouTube and my website, but yeah.
in terms of the artwork for your album, or like the photos for your album, I know that like for most of the songs that you've released, like on your YouTube, for example, you have like pictures to go along with them. Is it going to be
Hmm.
something like that will be on the cover, or is it going to be something like completely different?
Yeah, I actually already have the cover ready. I already did that photo shoot, but now we're kind of thinking of doing like more photo shoots just in case. But I think we're sticking with that one so far, but we might do some more because I have to take more anyways for other things. But yeah, so we already have that, and I don't know if I'm gonna change it up or not. I have like the front cover and the back cover, but like as the booklet goes, like I'm not sure if we're gonna use those actual pictures. I think that's just for like the singles themselves.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So another question I wanted to ask you specifically on the singles. So you've obviously released, multiple songs. What
Mhm.
is your most favorite song that you have produced thus far, and why?
Oh my, honestly, there's a song called "Would You Still Love Me," and the only reason, like, it's the opposite of what I do. I usually do like upbeat music, but it's a ballad, and I love it so much just because I feel like that one I related to the most out of all of them. Because all these songs I didn't get to write, I got to like co-write it, So
Hmm.
I kind of had to put myself into these other shoes and kind of portray the story that was being told in every song. But that one, like, I actually related to like personally, and so when I was recording it, actually in the studio, I was actually crying that day, and like it was a bad morning, and when I got in there and I had to relate to this song, like I was like crying as I was singing, so like it's very emotional for me when I listen to it. But I feel like that's also like the vulnerability was like what was needed in order to sing the song, because anyone can sing anything. Like if you really like, you can feel when someone like means it, and so I love that one so much just because I don't know, it was like therapeutic in a way, and it was the second song I ever recorded. So.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. Awesome. I do have another question, and I do have like a minute left, but I don't think that's enough time to get into that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this part right here. We'll be going right into part 5. I have a couple more questions for Aleeyah in relation to the music, and that'll probably be it for that segment of the show. And then I will be coming back, and I will be talking about a couple things in the wrestling world for you guys, and that will be the show. So that is part 4 of the Liberty Hour. We will be right back with part 5. Stay tuned.